What is up, everybody? It is me. I wanted to come to you guys tonight with my NXT review. So let's jump right into NXT tonight. To start off the show, we got Johnny Gargano versus Leon Ruff for the North American Championship. Leon Ruff ended up going over on Leon Ruff ended up going over on Johnny Gargano by disqualification for the North American Championship. So there you go. So to start off the show, we had a really short match between Leon Ruff and Johnny Gargano. Leon Ruff ended up going over on Johnny Gargano by disqualification for the North American Championship. And then we had Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis in a blindfold match. That match ended in a no contest. So there you go. And then we had Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter versus Indy Hartwell and versus we had Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. This was a 2-on-2 women's tag team match tonight on Impact Wrestling. I thought this women's tag team match was pretty decent with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro tonight on NXT. I thought this women's tag team match was pretty decent for what it was. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a decent 2-on-2 women's tag team match tonight on NXT. I thought it was a decent women's. I thought this was a decent women's tag team match. I didn't really get much out of it. It was what it was. It was pretty decent. I thought it was a decent 2-0. I thought it was a decent I thought it was a decent 2-on-2 tag team women's match tonight on NXT with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. I thought this was a pretty decent 2-on-2 women's tag team match. I thought it was just decent enough to be alright for what it was. And Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell pick up the win over Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro tonight on NXT in a 2-on-2 women's tag team match. And then we had Kushida versus Arturo. Kushida ends up going over on Arturo. This was a pretty decent match between Arturo and Kushida tonight on NXT. This was alright for what it was. I didn't really think much of it. It was what it was to be a pretty decent match. It was what it was with this match. It pretty much was what it was. I didn't think much of it. I didn't really get into it all that much. I thought it was a decent one-on-one match between Arturo and Kushida tonight on NXT. I thought Arturo versus Kushida was pretty damn decent. I thought it was alright to be a one-on-one men's match tonight on NXT. I thought this match was pretty decent for what it was. I thought it was alright. It didn't do much for me, but it was alright for what it was, I guess, if you want to call it that. And Kushida ends up picking up the win over Arturo tonight on NXT. And then we had another women's tag team match on we had another women's 2-on-2 tag team match or a women's tag team match tonight with Amber Moon and Toni Storm versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. This was the second women's match of the night tonight on NXT. This match was alright to be a tag team women's match. This match was alright. I didn't really get that. I don't like women's tag team wrestling. You guys know this. I'm not a huge fan of women's tag team wrestling. I don't know why I don't know why these women are feuding. I don't know what they're feuding over. I don't know what they're feuding for. I don't know why Amber Moon and Toni Storm are feuding with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. I don't get why these women are in a feud. I don't get what they're feuding for or what they're feuding over. I don't understand what the feud is about with these two tag teams. I don't get what they're feuding for and what they're feuding over. So I don't really understand why these two tag teams are feuding. I don't really get it. I don't understand it. This was a decent women's tag team match tonight on NXT. This women's tag team match was decent for what it was. It was enjoyable for the most part to be a women's tag team match. It was alright for to be a women's tag team match. It was just decent overall. And Amber Moon and Toni Storm ended up picking up the win over Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai tonight on NXT. And then we had, and then we had, and then we had, we were supposed to have, Damian Priest in a match. That match never happened. And then we had main event, which was Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship in the main event of NXT tonight. That was the best match of the night tonight on NXT, in my opinion, was the match between Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. This was a very, very damn good women's match tonight in the main event of NXT between Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. This was a damn good women's match. This match, absolutely, these two women went out in the main event of NXT and absolutely stole the show for the NXT Women's Championship tonight. These two women absolutely went out there and had one hell of a match and absolutely stole the show in the main event of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. This was a pretty damn good match. I thought it was the best match of the night, in my opinion. These two women put on a really damn good match in the main event tonight on NXT between Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley in the main event of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. This was the best damn match of the night. Tonight, NXT was based around this match between Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley in the main event of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. NXT was based around this match tonight, and this was a really, really, really damn good women's match tonight in the main event of NXT for the NXT Championship tonight between Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. This was a very, very, very damn good women's match, man. These two women absolutely went out in the main event of NXT tonight and absolutely stole the show for the NXT Women's Championship. These two women absolutely went out and had the best match of the night and stole the show. In my opinion, this was a very, very, very damn good match for the women tonight on NXT between Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley in the main event of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. But I go back and rewatch this match between Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley in the main event tonight of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. Absolutely, I would absolutely go back and rewatch this match again because that's how good this match was. These two women absolutely went out and stole the show in the main event of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship between two great female athletes in Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. This was the best damn match of the night tonight on NXT. These women absolutely killed it and had a very, very damn good match tonight in the main event of NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. These two women had a very, very damn good match, man. And Io Shirai retains her NXT Women's Championship over Rhea Ripley. I think this was Rhea Ripley's send-off. I think Rhea Ripley is now going to the main roster. I think she's going to SmackDown. I think that's where she's going. I think we will see her on Friday night. I think this was Rhea Ripley's send-off. I think she's going to the main roster tonight after her loss to from Io Shirai. I think Rhea Ripley is getting called up to the main roster. I think she's going to be one of the women on the SmackDown women's team for Survivor Series this coming Sunday. So I think this was Rhea Ripley's final send-off from NXT. Rhea Ripley has pretty much done all she can do in NXT. I don't think there's anything more that she can do in NXT. So I think tonight was the send-off of Rhea Ripley from NXT. I think tonight was her send-off. I think Rhea Ripley is going to the main roster, and I think we will see her on SmackDown on Friday, and she will be part of the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series team for this Sunday at Survivor Series on the WWE Network. So I think after tonight is all said and done, I think Rhea Ripley is getting called up to the main roster. I think this was Rhea Ripley's send-off from NXT, and I think Rhea Ripley is going to be on the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series team for Survivor Series this coming Sunday night. So if you guys like this NXT review, hit that thumbs up. It helps my YouTube channel in the YouTube algorithm. And guys, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and become part of the notification gang here on the channel. And guys, thank you guys for watching this NXT review. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this NXT review tonight. Overall, I'm going to give NXT a 1 out of 10 for the Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai main event for the NXT Women's Championship match tonight on NXT. I'm gonna give NXT a 1 out of 10 for that match. So overall, NXT for me gets a 1 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this NXT review as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you guys tonight. So thank you guys for watching this NXT review. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you guys. You guys have a blessed night. I love you guys. And I will see you guys back here in a bit for the AEW review. Until then, you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys back here in a bit for the AEW review. Your boys out, man. Peace.